Yo, 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 what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Just get my little camera here set up. All right, so hopefully you guys are doing fantastic today. If you're not, you will be by the end of our time together. I'm I'm assuming. And we are going to be talking to a a woman, a mom, somebody who is also a nurse for 13 years, who has decided to stay home, and is now a stay at home mom, and who has been building her business and getting some pretty cool results that she's going to be sharing with us today. So with that being said, all the way from Ohio, Jessica, what's going on?
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Matt said you were a little nervous before the show, so let's shake all that out,
Right?
shake
Right?
it
Yeah.
all out and name it and claim it, and let's have a little fun. Um, you're kind of new to all this stuff. Your husband's done a little drop shipping before, right?
Right.
But that was him, not really particularly you.
I mean, we
Or
kind
did you
of both did it.
participate? Okay.
But he really was, the front runner of it.
Mhm.
Um,
It was his
but
idea.
yeah, that was hard. I don't ever recommend that to anybody.
Was it his idea to kind of get in? Is he the more entrepreneurial one, and
Um,
he kind of got you in? Or I'm just assuming that because you were a nurse for 13 years, or do you both
sure.
have the entrepreneurial bug?
Sure. So, what really happened was I did stop working full time about a year and a half ago. Um, but we still needed to, I needed to bring in money still.
Yeah.
So we were kind of looking for ways to support us.
Yeah.
And he was on TikTok and he was like, "Oh, all these people are talking about drop shipping stores." And he was like, "Why don't we try it?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then we tried it and we tried learning from YouTube, and that just we fell right on our face. So, yeah, it did not go over very well.
Interesting. So when was that?
Mm, that was probably about 6 months ago.
Okay. And what
hmm
happened after that?
Well, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this
Back to
woman.
TikTok, right?
I know you can learn so much from TikTok. Um, but I saw a woman and she was telling her story and it intrigued me. And I got that, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. And she was talking so great about how legendary, changed her life. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a chance on myself and I'm gonna do it. And so I paid that $7 and I took that course and I'm forever grateful.
Has it changed your life as well, just like hers?
Oh my God, yes. And like, not even so much in like the financial part is amazing, but also like, I'm a nurturer by nature. So when I stopped working as a nurse, I kind of got into this like, what is my purpose? Like, you have so many titles in life as like mom, dad, wife, husband, but I kind of lost the what is for me, what is I don't have anything for myself. And I really was starting to lose my purpose. And it really, I gained so much more than just, you know, making money. And I came out of my comfort zone and it gave me
Mm.
confidence. And it's just amazing because it kind of unlocks like a part of you that you don't realize is there. Like, I never would have thought that I was a creative person
Mm.
or, in those aspects. So it's really cool to see how much I've grown in even a short amount of time, So that's really cool.
And there has been some money that's made.
Mhm.
You've made some pretty uh, some pretty, for some, I guess, everything can be life changing. It's all relative to somebody's situation. But I think that you wrote in your pre-game little thing that it was more than you expected. You've been
Right.
surprised by the
Hmm.
results that you've got here in the last couple of months. Is that
Right. Right.
accurate?
Yeah. I went into this with zero expectations that I was really going to get anything out of this. And for me to have committed myself and put the work in and to actually see results, it's amazing. And like nobody knows that I do this, So like when you try unconventional ways to make money, sometimes people just don't understand like
Mm,
what you're doing or why you're doing it. And because we had failed in our previous endeavors,
mm,
I really didn't want to talk about my affiliate marketing because I didn't want people to be like, oh, it's just another thing that she's trying. And, you know, so really nobody even knows that I do this. Um,
wow.
yeah.
And in some ways, it's better that way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because not every, if the people in your circle are not going to give you the energy that you need to keep
Yeah.
going, sometimes you just need to do it alone. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
And that's one of the benefits of affiliate marketing in this business that we do and teach here is that you can do it worldwide. You realize,
Mhm.
wow, I've got 50 friends and then there's 7 or 8 billion people in the world.
I know.
I don't need their money. I don't need their approval. I
Hmm.
can actually go out into these 7 or 8 billion people in the world. I can deliver value to them in exchange for money. I can even get validation from them. I can build new connections. I can still keep these folks as my friends. We don't
Hmm.
have to break up, but I don't have to do business with my friends. And I think
Hmm.
that's the difference between the old fashioned, we're just a good old town who kind of shares referrals and everybody does business. And you got the banker and you got the plumber and you got the hairstylist and the barber, right? And we all kind of
Right.
know everybody's business and we all somehow are financially connected with each other and we all cut, right? And for me, same as you, I keep my friends my friends. I don't
Hmm.
do business with them
Right.
because business tends to muddy up relationships in my experience.
Hmm.
Money, business, expectations they're not, expectations aren't clear. Somebody doesn't live up to your expectations. So I get to keep my family and my friends, my family and my friends. And I
Hmm.
get to just have fun and enjoy their company and talk about dumb stuff with my buddies and smoke cigars or whatever. And then I get to come over here with you guys and talk about something that, as you said, they don't understand.
Right.
They wouldn't understand it. They don't want to understand it. They if it was just like sometimes they're like, man, what is it that you do? And then you're like, you're like, and I don't know why people really even ask that because it's like not like they really want to learn it or put
Right.
in the work to right. They just wonder, are you like, are you like, just, did you just get lucky? Is there a way that I can get lucky like that too?
Hmm.
Um, but I just, what, a lot of times I'll just say, I'll be like, yeah, I have a marketing company. And and they'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Right. Lately I've been like, well, I've got some investments and some real
Hmm.
estate and stuff, an
Yeah.
investor. Right. I had a neighbor that asked me, what is it that you guys do? Because my wife and I are fairly young. We've always been the youngest people in our neighborhoods that we've lived in. The other day I said, I'm actually a real estate investor, right? And it's like, I do have some real estate, but it's like, I don't even want to go into
Hmm.
explaining and just because I don't need to. And isn't that, I mean, I know I'm ranting, but I just can identify with that. And I know that some of you who are listening can't yet, but stick in there. And we're
Hmm.
trying to give you some hope for what maybe the future will look like for you as you keep going down that journey. Right, Jessica?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what would you describe from an internal perspective as far as the growth you've encountered coming out of comfort zone, that kind of stuff? You mentioned you're an introvert. Um, and you talked about this a few minutes ago, and I said, well, has it changed your life too? And you said, yeah, there's the financial aspect, but there's also the growth aspect. Could you talk to us a little bit about what that experience from that side of things has been like over the last couple of months?
Sure. So, like I was telling my husband, I'm like, if nothing more were to ever come of this, at least I know that, I was always the don't take the risk, play by the book, do what you're supposed to do. And I learned that it's going to be uncomfortable to come out of your comfort zone. It's going to be hard, but you grow as a person when you do that. And, sometimes you have to feel the uncomfortable and just do it anyways. And, um, I know it's hard. And like, this is what I tell myself all the time is that like life is hard, but you have the control to pick your hard. And if it's going to be hard, you might as well get something out of it. Right.
Mm,
So, like, I just keep pushing every day and I try to, know that it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's okay to be uncomfortable.
yeah.
And, it just amazes me how much because I never posted on social media. Never.
Mm,
Like, I had a Facebook page, but like I never posted. And
yeah.
for me to create like 3 to 5 TikToks a day is
Mm,
completely something that would not be my norm. Um, but I did
wow.
it. And, you know, it gets easier the more you do it. So like in the beginning, if you look at some of my TikToks from the beginning, I was just like, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. But you get better and it gets a little easier. And, sometimes it's hard for me to, like, I know what I want to say, but sometimes the words just don't come out the right way.
Mm,
And so a lot of times I don't really speak on my TikToks. Like, it's
mm,
usually just set to music and I'm, pointing to words or I put the words on the screen because the words don't always come out the right way. Um, but yeah, you just kind of have to go with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And that was another thing that I really learned. Like most of my videos that do really well either have like a misspelling or, it doesn't have to be perfect.
mm,
And so that I learned that too, is that you just kind of have to let go and it'll be okay.
yeah. I want to just tease apart a couple of things you said. The first one was that life is hard, and also business is hard, and online
Hmm.
marketing is hard, and vending machine businesses are hard, and
Hmm.
lawn mowing companies are hard, and being a nurse is hard, and being a mom, like everything is hard.
Hmm.
And there's having a job is hard, being
Hmm.
poor is hard.
Hmm.
All these things are hard, right? And um, and just kind of settling into that and saying, you know what, I'm gonna learn what it takes so this is not so uncomfortable,
Hmm.
and it becomes comfortable for me.
Hmm.
I was watching this thread in one of our Facebook groups about, page builders and funnel builders, and they always tend to be some of the most popular posts in our Facebook groups because they're a way for us to kind of look for something outside of ourselves, some tool, something that's going to be the magic bullet, that's going to be the magic
Hmm.
solution, and a great analogy would be like a golfer, who maybe many of our husbands or brothers or friends golf, and maybe the golfer who goes out and buys the most expensive set of clubs, and he still sucks,
Yeah.
right? Or the guy like me who might buy the most expensive or best or different or try, all name brand knives, still can't cook worth a damn, or the fishing pole, still can't catch a fish, right? And so what makes us good as marketers, as online marketers, it's learning the skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's learning how to navigate the platforms, the marketing platforms, how do we drive more traffic? Your
Mm-hmm.
funnel's not the problem. How can we get to a point to where we can also be making enough money to where we no longer have to shop based on price for everything
Mm-hmm.
anymore,
Yeah.
right? There's this same post that I'm talking about. Everybody's like, well, this is a little bit cheaper and this is a little bit cheaper. And it's like, aren't you tired of shopping based on price? Aren't you
Mm-hmm.
tired of not ordering what you want from the restaurant because you're always focused on the right-hand side of the menu and never the left-hand side of the menu, right?
Right.
Because your eyes always wander over there to see how much that T-bone steak is, so you're going to go with the chop steak. I
Yeah.
just, for me, I I think that that's one of the most brilliant points that you make, and that anybody could possibly make, especially for our community full of a lot of new and hungry entrepreneurs who want to succeed, but spend a whole lot of time shopping around and researching and getting ready to get ready,
Mm-hmm.
because actually starting is uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so let me kind of play around here. Let me hang out in the Facebook groups. Now back to research. Somebody else said there was this other tool that's $2 a month cheaper, this one that's got one extra feature, whatever. So back to the drawing boards in the safe zone,
Mm-hmm.
where I don't have to take any action, because
Mm-hmm.
taking action is uncomfortable. What comes up for you as I say that? I mean, you brought the point up, but I just wondered if you had any thoughts that came up.
Yeah. So, I get that all the time. Like when people message me or, they are like, well, what do you use? What software do you use? What do you recommend? Or, I don't have a lot of money right now and I really can't afford to, buy the expensive software. Um, I usually just tell them, you know, sometimes you have to go with what works best for you, like in a matter of, is it user friendly? Because something can be free, but if you can't use the software or it's, not as user friendly as other software, then it's not going to be good for you. So don't look so much at the price of things because more than likely you're going to be able to make the money to be able to afford the more expensive software or the more user friendly software. um but yes, a lot of people do get hung up on, I want to get the best value or I need to do it the cheap route. And I understand that because I did that too.
Yeah.
I did that.
And I think it's natural human nature to want to do that, right? To
Hmm.
want to shop around, to want to get the most value. But I think that there's a transition from consumer to creator
Yeah.
that we have to take, where we focus. In order to be successful, I've found that I need to focus more on making money than
Hmm.
saving money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to
Hmm.
focus more on creating and marketing than shopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a mindset shift, I feel, less than it is about me trying to convince anybody. I'm not trying to convince any of you guys to buy the most expensive software or anything like that. My point is that we do this kind of dance around the tools and the shopping and
Hmm.
the software, and the what tool, what landing page builder, and it's all just procrastination.
Right. You just keep going in a circle and
Yeah.
then you just, you go in the circle and you go through the motion and you never get anywhere because you're so focused on which one should I use,
Yeah.
and yeah, you kind of get stuck.
It's kind of like the carpenter. I mean, who I use this analogy too. Who what do you? I mean, you got to hang out in Home Depot for 4 months. Go
Yeah.
back every day looking for a hammer. You buy the freaking hammer. You
Hmm.
know, by the
Mm-hmm.
hammer. You and then because then you realize, oh my God, regardless of what hammer I bought, I take it out to the job site, I still need to learn how to pound a nail.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't know how to use the tool and I don't get comfortable with the tool and I don't get comfortable walking around with the tool, I need to be able to use the tool in my sleep. And the only way for me to do that is got to get out of shopping mode, got to get out of getting started mode.
Yeah.
When somebody starts their business, this has been a traditional thing, whether no matter what kind of business you start, the first thing is, back in the day, well, gotta get some business cards, and then it's like, right, number one thing, gotta get some business cards,
Yeah.
and then it's like, well, gotta register my business, and then it's like, well, let's go down and talk to the Chamber of Commerce or whatever, right? And now online, it's like, we gotta get my domain name, and all these things are, all these things are fine or whatever, but it's like, they're also distractions,
Mm-hmm.
because the most successful entrepreneurs that I know shoot first, ask questions later, break stuff, go fast. And it's about speed of implementation, and
Mm-hmm.
it's about thinking less and
Mm-hmm.
acting more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you find that at all, but I find when I get in my head and I think about things too much, I just, it's never my best work. My
Right.
best work is when I get a thought, I get a feeling, it's raw, I take it to the market, I implement it, I shoot the video right away, and then I build on that.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, the way that I kind of have to look at it, or how I did look at it, was like survival mode. Like, if I did not take this opportunity and look at it as a survival mode, then I would have looked at it as an option. And when you
Mm,
look at it as an option, then that's when the excuses, or why you can't do it, or
yeah.
all of those come into play. So I really had to look at it like there was no failure. Like, I have
Mm.
to go in, I have to jump in, I just have to do it. And there's no room for me to not succeed, I guess. Um,
And you weren't homeless, right? I mean, like you still had a home and food on your tables and
mhm.
some money in your bank, right? So how did you create that sense of urgency, that sense of burning the bridge without actually in reality having like your back against the wall? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, because here's
Or
the
maybe
thing.
it was like, I don't know. I'm just asking
No,
it.
no, no,
I
no.
would assume
So
that
I
you weren't on
honestly
the verge of being
believe,
homeless.
right. I honestly believe that you have to hit your rock bottom to change. A
Mm,
lot of people don't change until they hit their rock bottom. And I was in a situation that, yes, my husband does very well. And yes, I was a nurse, but I stopped doing that. And,
mm,
we spent our entire savings through COVID just to
mm,
survive. And it was becoming a pretty bad financial situation for us. And, I don't talk about this a lot, but I do provide like care out of my house for
mhm,
kids. So
mhm.
I'm not really a stay-at-home mom, but
Gotcha.
because I do, I offer childcare out of my house.
Mm.
Um, but I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I don't want to do that.
You
So
just
I
want your
knew,
kids, not other people's kids?
right, right. So I knew that, one, if our washer were to go, I'm like, where would I come up with that money? So it was
Yeah,
kind of a very, an uncomfortable situation.
right.
My husband doesn't have a retirement. His company doesn't offer that. And, because I stopped working as a nurse, that my retirement was going away. So I'm like, there are a lot of things that are not good, and that I need to find a way to, help our situation.
Mm.
So it was kind of an uncomfortable, you know, moment there. So,
Well, I guess if many of us here who are listening and many of us here who are kind of, dealing with a bit of complacency, really asked ourselves, how how many weeks away am I from true financial
Mm-hmm.
disaster,
Right.
right? Like how many weeks or months of savings do you have
Mm-hmm.
set aside?
Right.
How many medical emergencies are you away from total financial disaster?
Yeah.
And because I think we get so used to living paycheck to paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
we don't really realize how close we are to potentially being homeless, to
Mm-hmm.
potentially having to pawn our computer if you have a computer, or
Yeah.
sell something in your house, or I don't know, just really be in a tough spot.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying that you, although you weren't homeless, although you still had food in your pantry, um, if your washer machine broke, how would you get the money to pay for that? And your family needs to have clean clothes. Your
Yeah.
children need to have clean clothes. And then if you didn't make anything happen after that, the next step is I can't pay the rent. I can't pay the mortgage, and now you're in a really tough spot. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that if I think that sometimes we get a little, like I said, complacent and comfortable with living paycheck to paycheck
Yeah.
and having so little, because we're used to surviving like that.
Yeah.
And we've never really known. I mean, I know before I started to actually develop some savings, I didn't know what it was like to have savings. $1,000 in the bank account to me was like, I'm good. I'm good for a while. You know what I mean? and
Mm-hmm.
and and it's like I look back on that now, and there's like a line of thinking, like you never really know how broke you were until you got some money, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I look back on some of those times and I'm like, holy shit, how was I not freaking out?
Mm-hmm.
Like how was I not totally freaking out? um but I did put the work into my business, and I did kind of have that same. So what's our point here? I think my point is that like I think she's right. I think you're right that hitting rock bottom is is um is sort of a necessity to want to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess here's how I can sum up what I'm trying to say. Don't get comfortable at rock bottom.
Right. Right. Don't. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Because what is more rock bottom than I'm a couple of weeks away from not being able to pay my mortgage or my rent if all of a sudden I didn't have any work.
Right.
That's guys, wait, we need to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
We need to wake up. I mean, I know we may have watched our parents live paycheck to paycheck. We may have watched our parents rack up credit card debt. We may have, been taught that just have faith. It's going to come in. But you know what? It's a lot easier to live when you got 6 months savings.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to live when you don't have a mountain of credit card debt over your head. It's a lot, you know what they say, money doesn't buy happiness, but most of the broke people who are broke say that phrase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to tell you something, when you're staying in nice hotels and you're driving the car that you want to drive and you're living in the house that you want to live in, you don't say those kind of things because you don't want to lose what you have.
Right. Right.
I mean, am I speaking crazy talk, or are you picking up what I'm putting
No.
down?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People just, and like, that's the thing is like, at least for me, I didn't even know what affiliate marketing was 4 months ago. And this is what I try to tell people all the time. If I can do it with zero experience, zero knowledge, even what affiliate marketing was, you can do it. And like, if it can change my life the way that it has changed my life, it can change your life. And don't, if you are struggling or if you want more money or need more money, that's the whole reason to start. Like you can't see more money coming in. You can't make commissions if you don't start.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable at rock bottom. That's absolutely right.
Well, I am thrilled for you. I'm thrilled for your family. I'm thrilled for your future. Excited about where this is going to take you, where you're going to take you. I mean, and I'll let you have the last word if you have anything else that you want to share for people who might be on the fence, or who have kind of stumbled into our community or are needing to start over.
Mhm.
What would you say to those people?
I would just say that you can do, people, you can do hard things and you can do more than you think you can, but you have to just get started. And, there are the community of support. Oh my goodness. Legendary Marketer has such a wonderful support system that, I didn't have any experience in the marketing world. And if I had a question, all I had to do was either one, when I was going through the course, talk to my advisor, or two, there is a entire community of people that want to help you, that want to answer your questions. So like,
Mm.
if you feel like you're going to go down this journey by yourself, like it's not like that. And I have
Yeah.
met the most amazing people through this opportunity. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful the support that you get. It's wonderful the friendships that you gain. And just the confidence in yourself is,
Mm.
let alone amazing. So,
Well, I don't know about this whole not being able to find the words thing that you said earlier, but you've found some amazing words to share with us today, and I just thank you for your time and
oh,
keep up the great work. And
thank
please
you.
come back and continue to share your journey with us if you'd be willing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And honestly, like one last thing, when I purchased the course and I was watching your videos and sitting on my couch, like I never in a million years would have thought that I would be doing this today. Like you buy things or you purchase things and, you see people and you're like, that couldn't be me. That couldn't be me. And it is, it can happen and it can happen for anyone. So thank you
Yeah,
for having me.
you're here. You are, and you're very welcome. All right. So we'll talk to you soon. Keep inspiring, be legendary, and
Thank you.
my
Thank
best to
you.
you and your family.
Thanks.
All right, my friends. Another fantastic episode. A lot of nuggets in there, a lot of hidden gems that if you have your sifting pan out and you're looking for the gold, you can find it in today's episode. That's for sure. I want to thank Jessica once again for coming out and sharing her journey with us. You can follow her there at Millie Marketing, as it's spelled MILIMKTG. She's on TikTok at that particular handle. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Get out of here. Peace.